Right, we need to introduce the onClick method. Let's do the add superride annotation. Let's have the method public, void onClick, passing the view, the object view. Okay, so we get to the integer position equals to passing the view order, and actually going to call the object of the view and gets the tag. That's fine. From here we call the end position. Pass it this way. Now we call the activity description subject equals to the m activity description gets position. Alright, we now call an intent. Instantiates the intent, passing the m context, and the activity description calls on the m activity. This way. After we have the m context to start the activity. I'll pass the intent as parameter, so that's what will be started. Have the onClick set appropriately. After the onClick, we need to create the view order, which is actually going to call the onCreate view order. Let's quickly do that. We have the override. Now we call the public view order, not the recycler view order. Just be specific with what we need. Just this way. You can also use the recycler view order. It's all the same. Now we call the onCreate view order. What we call the view group. Subject and the position. It's fine. Now we need to call the view an object. Now we assign the m layout inflator. Call the inflate and pass the layout that's actually going to be inflated layout, and which is the item example description. We also have the view group. I will pass false. Let's go. We get to call the view order. Not the recycler view order. Just maintain the naming convention used. equals to new view order. Pass the v. Now we're going to set or click listener to this. Now we set the tag. To the view order. Now we need to return the view order. It's fine. We need to create the unbind view order. Public void unbind view order. You have the view order. Let's let it view order alone. And subject view order. And the integer position I'll call the final activity description. Subject activity description should be equals to the M activity description. Now we're going to get the position. We're going to have a string for the title, which is equals to the activity description, which is going to call on the M title. We're going to have for the description itself is equals to the activity X, or we call the M description. That's fine. Scroll down. We need to call the view order this time. To call on the M title text view. Whereby is going to set the text, which is title. Same view order, call the M description this time. Set text to description. I'll call the view order. And position equals to the position. Afterwards, we're going to need the count. You have to provide. We need the get item count. Or we're going to have a public integer get item count. Just this way. It's actually going to return the M activity description, which called the size. That's all. That's fine. We have our recycler view set, which actually calls the view order, and you can see how we actually get that done. Now we need the simple custom tab activity, which is actually going to be tied to the activity description. We need to create that particular class, so we have to do that quickly. Call the new Java class called simple custom tab activity. Simple custom tab activity. That's good. Let's go on. Now this particular activity extends app compact activity, and implements the view on click listener. This way, we have that set. Now we need to create a private field. After that set, we're actually going to need an onClick method as well. But before we continue, let's set up the override. Let's have the onCreate method. Very important. Protected void onCreate, which calls the bundle saved instance state. Let's import this bundle. Alt enter, we'll bring that in. We'll get to call the super class onCreate, save instance state. It's fine. Just this way. Afterwards, we're going to actually need the onClick. So let's have that specified as well. We have the public void onClick view. Have the v, the parameter of the set appropriately. That's cool. Let's have the first field, which is actually going to be a private edit text over there. We'll give it URL edit text, just this way. Now inside the onCreate method, we're going to set content view, set content view to it's actually going to be the layout. This time is going to call on activity simple custom tab over there. Simple custom tab. Now we need to find viewed by ID, which is actually going to be our ID start custom tab. I will set an onClick listener to this, passing this keyword as the class in question. Now we need to call the URL edit text. We assign the edit text and get to find the view by ID, and we'll pass in the ID we're finding, which is where it's the URL. close that right there. Let's move to our click method. We have the integer view ID, which will be assigned to the v who gets the ID. That's fine. Now we have a switch statement. Pass the view ID as the identifier, something of this nature. Now we need the first case. If the ID is start custom tab, so I'm going to call the string URL equals the m URL at the text and get text. Okay, the string. Now we call the custom tab client active intent rather, where we're going to create a small object for that. The new custom tabs intent. That's the way. We need to call the builder, and we need to build this up. This is unique to the custom tabs library. Actually using it from the dependencies we included earlier on. Now we need a custom tab activity helper. That's custom tab. We need all the activity helper. To open up the custom tab. Activity helper, you're still going to create that. Just don't worry about that. Now this particular class, come on, have the custom tabs intent, while we pass the URI, pass the URL as the parameter, the new Webview Fallback. I'm going to create that as well. Fallback. That's another class we get to create. So just something of this nature here. So afterwards, get to break this, break, and give a default of, just make the default unknown, because definitely there must be an ID of start custom tab. So just make the default unknown. Now we need the custom tab helper, and we also need the Webview Fallback. We get to look at those classes quickly. Let's first of all create the custom tab activity helper, to actually assist us in opening the custom tab. So I'm going to create a new Java class called custom tab activity helper. just this way. This implements the service connection callback, which is from the shared library. This service connection callback, and we're actually going to have some things passed in right there. First of all, let's call the open custom tab, which is a public static void open custom tab. We're actually going to have some parameters in there, but we won't really bother our head on that now. First, let's create the structure of this particular application, which is this. After that, we're going to have the public void unbind custom tab service, which we actually take a parameter to. We're just creating a structure. We're also going to have the custom tabs session. Let's get to create that as well. Public custom tabs session called get session. Let's import from the under support custom tab session. We have that. We're also going to have the set connection callback custom tab session. We have the set connection callback, which is also a public void set connection callback, which we also take parameter, and we'll have the bind customs tab service public void bind custom tab service, takes the activity as parameter. Let's import that quickly. Import that. And we're going to have the may launch URL as a boolean, which is a public boolean may launch URL, which is also going to take in some parameters. We're going to have this on service connected. Much credit to Google for actually giving us this particular class, which is the custom tab activity helper. To override notation, we're going to have the public void on service connected. We're going to have on service disconnected. Actually going to have the override annotation as well. Going to have it this way: public void on service disconnected. Have it this way. After the service disconnected, we're going to have an interface for the connection callback. A lot of methods right inside this custom tab helper. This is where a bunch of the calls are made to the service connection and also to the custom tabs library. Interface, we have the connection callback. We may not need a parameter for this. I'll just make it simple. Are we going to have as an interface the last interface, which is actually going to be the custom tab fallback itself. Public interface custom tab fallback. This way. With this way we're fine. We'll get to now passing the details of each of this method. But before we pass in those details, we need to lock in some fields. First is the private custom tab session. What we assign M custom tab session this way. We're going to have another private, which is the custom tabs client over there. I will give it M client. This also should be M custom tabs. We have another private field, which is the custom tabs service connection over there, and we're going to give it M connection. The last field, private connection callback, give it M connection callback. That's cool. Now we're actually going to pass in open the URL on the custom tab if possible. Otherwise, default back to open it on the web view. So we have the host activity, the custom tabs intent is going to be used if the custom tabs is available. The URI is going to be opened, while the custom tab fallback will be used if the custom tabs are not available. So now in the open custom tab, we need to pass in some parameters. The activity, it's an object of activity. We need to also pass in something here. We need to pass in the custom tab intent, and we give it a custom tab intent. Also need to pass in the URI. Give it URI, and we need to pass in the custom tab fallback over there. This, so we give it a fallback. Are the parameters we need for this particular method. Now we're gonna give a string, package name, which will be equals to the custom tabs helper, which is actually going to get the package name to use, and we're passing the activity. This lowercase, that's fine. And so if we can't find a package name, it means there is no browser that supports that. So the Chrome custom tabs installed, so we fall back to the web view. Definitely no browser that actually supports, maybe there's no Chrome installed in the device, so we fall back to the web view so that it's actually not going to crash. We call the package name. If it's equals to null, that's the essence of this particular chunk. Now if the fallback is not equals to null, as a nested if statement, what are you going to do? That's if the first time is equals to null, and the fallback is actually comparing two parameters here now, the callback, the fallback, and the package name. Now it's going to actually call the fallback to open the URI. Activity URI. Okay, that's the open URI over there. Now else, we'll have the else. Custom tabs intent. I'm going to call the intent and set the package name. Pass the package name as parameter there. Close that out. This should be the custom tabs, not the custom tabs. That's fine. Now, the same custom tabs, which is the object created, we're going to launch the URL, and it's actually going to have the activity URL. That's fine. Have something of this nature. Now we're going to look into the Unbind custom tabs service, which is the next method here. Now this is actually going to be the activity from the custom tab service, or the activities connected to the service. This is actually connecting this activity to the service which we had from the shared library. Now we have the M connection, which is equals to null, and it's actually going to return we have the activity, Unbind service. So we need to pass this as a parameter here, but we have the activity. Now the activity, so we call the Unbind service, and we're passing the M connection. Just this way. We also call the M client. If it's equals to null, these are the connection details. M custom tab session. So I have it this way, no problem. So this is just how we continue to maintain it. Equals to null, and we have the M connection equals to null as well. That's for the unbind custom tab service. We're going to have for the custom tabs session, which we have if the M client is equals to null. We're going to actually have call the M custom tab session to also be equals to null. Else if the M custom tab session is equals to null, we're going to pass the M custom tab session to be equals to the M client and create a new session. Just this way, and pass null. It's the parameter. Now we need to return the M custom tab session. This way. It's fine. After that, we need to set some values for the connection callback. In the set connection callback method, we need to pass in the connection parameter, which will actually be the callback. Connection callback. Give it the connection callback. Right inside the method, we call this as M connection callback equals to the connection callback. We'll close it right there. We'll move to the bind custom tab service. This is actually going to bind the activity to the custom tab service, and the activity to the binded to the service is actually this. So let's specify. We have the activity as its parameter, and we're going to use an if statement. Check for the client, M client. If it's not equals to null, we're going to return a string. Have a package name equals to custom tabs helper, where we're going to get the package name to use, package the activity inside there, close that out. Continue with the if the package name this time is equals to null, we're going to return as well. And we get the M connection. If it's equals, we instantiate with the new service connection. We don't need a callback service connection. this class. So we got to import this from the shared library. Get our imports. That's fine. Afterwards, we call the custom tabs client and bind the custom tab service. How about I pass the activity? The package name, and M connection. Just this. That's fine. We're going to move to the next method, which is the may launch URL. This is actually going to be true if you call the may launch URL method, if it's accepted. So we need to pass in some parameters inside here. We have the URI, which is the URI, and we have the bundle extras. Let's import from the Android OS bundle. We also have the list, which pass in the bundle, and we have the other likely bundles. Need to import this. Now we test with an if statement. If the M client is equals to null, what's going to return? Return false. We call the custom tab session. Tab session creates object called session equals to the get session method. That's fine. Now if the session is equals to null, we're going to return false. Let us give a space. So we want. Now we need a return session may launch URL, passing the URI extras with the other likely bundles, and we close that out. Just this way. We have the on service connected, whereby once the service has been connected, what are the things that we actually need in there? We need the custom tabs client, and give an object of client. This. That's cool. Now we need to initialize. The first is the M client, which will be equals to client. The second is also the M client, whereby we're going to call the warm-up, passing float values 0 and L. That's this way. And we test the if the M connection callback is not equals to null, the M not equals to null, We don't need a parameter for this. It's outside. Now the M connection callback set on custom tabs. Custom tabs connected. On custom tabs connected. Alright, let's close that out this way. We have the on service disconnected. We'll call the M client to be equals to null. The M custom tab session to be equals to null as well. This time we'll get to have an if statement to check the M connection callback is not equals to null. For the M connection callback on custom tabs disconnected. Now a callback for when the service is connected or disconnected. We're going to use those callbacks to handle the UI changes when the service is either connected or disconnected. That's the essence of the connection callback, which we are going to actually pass in when the service is connected and also when the service is disconnected. So let's do that with a void on custom tabs connected. Just this way. And we're also going to call when the service is disconnected. Just this way. Void custom tabs disconnected. We are in order. So after that, we're going to use the fallback to open the URI when custom tabs are not available. So this is the custom fallback. About we're going to create an activity that wants to open the URI when the URI is being opened by the fallback. We have this void open URI passing activity subjects, and you pass in the URI class with its corresponding objects. Just this way, you'll be fine. So we have everything clean. This is actually the service connection callback once we've been implemented, what we call on the shared custom tabs helper, service connection, and the connection callback. This is actually going to verify if there is Chrome installed in your on the device. If not, it's going to use the default browser that is going to fall back to Webview. This is what this is actually doing, testing if the package name is available or not. And we have the Unbind custom tab service that's actually doing the connection of the custom tabs, and it's actually testing for a fallback if the service is connected or not. That's when you have this and get to open the URI of this particular link. So that's cool. We have the custom tab activity helper set appropriately. From here, we're going to actually be creating another class which will actually handle the web view in question. So we're going to create the web view activity, because the web view is also very important. Let's go there, web view. Activity. After this, we're going to have the Webview fallback. If Chrome is not installed, that's the essence of the fallback. Let's quickly look at the Webview activity, and let's do justice to this. This activity is used as a fallback when there is no browser installed that supports Chrome custom tabs. So get that very well. Now we're going to extend the app compact activity. Let's create the structure of this particular application. We're going to have the onCreate method, have the protected void onCreate. We're going to pass in the bundle, saved, instance state. That's fine. How about we're going to call on the super? But that's cool. Let's quickly look at other methods being used here. We have the on options item selected, which must be overridden. We have the public boolean on options item selected. Pass the menu item as its parameter. Object item. That's fine. So let's pass in the content of the onCreate method. Definitely we're going to call on the super class of this onCreate, because we override. We need to make reference to the super class. Saved instance state. We're going to set content view to the layout, activity web view this time. We're also going to call the string of the URL equals to get intent and get the string extra. That's definitely an activity is passing to this particular web view. That's why you need to get the string extra. There are some string values that is coming from the intent to this particular activity, so which is actually going to be the extra URL. That's what is coming, the extra URL. We're going to call the web view this time. have the web view object, which will be equals. We need to get the view by ID. So for call the web view, and we'll find the view by ID, which is actually r.id dot web view. Just this way. Web view. It's not correct. Should be view. We call the web view, but we set the web view client. Web view client. Inside this, we're going to instantiate the new web view client this way, and we call the web settings. Objects, call the web view to get settings. Web settings. Now we set JavaScript enabled to true. We get the title. No, let's set the title. Passing the URL. Get support action bar. To set display home as up enable to true. It's just a structure of the web view. Pass the web view and load the URL. Passing URL as parameter. It's fine. Now we get to look at the options item selected. How about we're going to have a switch statement. To get the item, get item ID. So this is actually going to respond to the actions bars or up home enabled. Up or home enabled. So that's what that is doing. Now we have the first case. Which is Android. ID dot home call finish method, and we need to return true. That's this way. Outside the switch statement, we need to return the superclass. Very important, because we override this particular class on options item selected. I'll pass in the item as parameter and we close it out just this way. That's cool. We have the web view activity set appropriately. Let's quickly create the last class right in this application, and it's going to be called the Webview Fallback. A fallback that opens a web view when custom tabs is not available. That's what this is. There's a class called Webview Fallback. We're going to implement the custom tab. Custom. Activity helper. And we get a custom tab fallback. Just this way. Pass a method. Right. This time we have the public void open URI. About pass activity subject, also the URI corresponding objects. Call the intent objects equals instantiate with the new intent, passing the activity with the URI. No, it's not going to be. The URI is going to be we call the web view activity now. Call this particular activity created earlier class. Now the object intent, I have to put extra. So this should be dot annotation. Put extra string boolean, and now we call the web view activity. Call the extra. URL. Call the URI. We convert to string. Activity start the activity and pass the intent. There's something that triggers here. If you notice, we have the extra URL as a symbol that is not cannot resolve. So let's quickly resolve this. We need to create a field in the web view activity called the public static final string called extra URL. It's called extra this. Now we need to assign it as the extra dot URL. After doing this, it should go, since we've assigned it to a value, now it's going to be resolved. That's fine. Let's quickly go through the application back to our activity main. Let's create a sort of rebuild. I pick an app team. That's fine. Let's rebuild to render the structure of this particular layout. We have the activity simple custom tab. We have the activity web view that holds on to the activity itself. Okay, now we have all gone. Go back to activity simple custom tab. That's if you notice, we have the URL and we have the button to actually open the custom tab. That's what that does. We have the web view itself that's actually going to launch the URL content. We have the item example description, that has the text view to actually describe each item. This is used in the recycler view. We have the list activity, which is actually a recycler view that actually lists different kind of demo, different kind of examples that you can use with the custom tabs. We only have one for now, which is just a simple custom tab activity. That's where we have the unbind view order that you can click. If you're familiar with how to create a recycler view, you should be familiar with these words. The create view order. When you now have to bind it, you can see it's been called the layout item example description that I talked about, and you get to bind the view order, to set the title, content, description, the position, how you actually want the items to be listed in the recycler view. That's just what that's holding on to. And we have the custom tab activity helper that actually helps us to communicate with the connection of this particular shared libraries that were used, which is basically a connection, and also calling the methods that were actually sitting in the dependencies, whereby we will have the set connection callback. We check for if Chrome is actually available in the particular device. If not, it defaults back to the default browser, and it picks the web view. These are all done right inside the custom tab activity help. And we call on the web view activity. Very important. We always need a web view to launch the particular URL that was passed into. But we set the JavaScript enabled. We set the display home as up enabled as well, and we instantiate the new web view client. And we have the option item selected, which is actually going to hold on to the top bar, or if the button home, or if it's the back button is being pressed, is going to actually finish this transaction. And the Webview Fallback is very important, because this fallbacks to a web view when the custom tab is not available. It's actually going to call the web of any browser that is available right on the device. So this is just how to create a custom tab, which is very fast, and it's easy to modify, unlike the traditional way of calling a web view content. This is not leaving the application per se, because you still have a back button to go back to your application, right inside the app, not the menu back button, which is quite different. So its transition is smooth and faster. I will get to launch this particular application in an emulator so that we get to see how it looks like, and we'll get to see the look and feel of the custom tab, and we should be ready to integrate it in an application instead of using the traditional way. Probably use an intent to call an application, which moves the app itself out of the application. This is still right inside the application, and you will still have the smooth feeling of the transition to a web view. So with not much things to do, we need to look at the manifest, and this is the metadata of this particular application. The manifest is very, very important. You need to key in the necessary activities that were used, and you need to set up the theme. You need to call the permissions, very important. So right there we need the first permission, which is the use internet. Use this permission, the Android permission internet. Over there, set right, and the particular launcher activity is going to be the list, which is the recycler list, and those different demo process or different functionality. We can have different way you call the custom tabs, whereby we have only one, which is the simple custom. You can have another one which is actually going to show a notification that I have another one which is actually going to trigger something different. So now we actually used some activity inside, which we passed some intent from the list activity. We passed to the simple custom tab activity, and also we passed to the web view, if you should remember. So we need to register those activity right inside your manifest, or else there is going to be a crash when you are clicking to call those activity. Very important. Now the activity name which we first use is going to be the web view activity. Let's register that, and we have a label for this, Android label. It's also going to call it's actually going to supposed to call the string active title activity web view. Let's quickly create that inside the string, but before that let me give it the full structure. It's a string, call it title. Instead of add coding, this is quite good, so that you won't have to be add coding inside the code. You have a separate string XML that handles most of the string details of your application. It's a good way, it's a recommended approach of creating string values instead of you add coding. Now we have the title activity web view, which you can use in other aspects of the application. So you don't have, so this is actually going to make you synchronize. It's actually going to make you be on the lookout. So once you change it as a string, it affects all other places that it has been referenced. So instead of add coding, you'll be having different issues. There might be mistake in the string, which will make it coherent. So now I'm going to create the string name of title activity web view, which will carry the web view activity. So let's quickly create a title activity web view. We'll go to the values. Title. Activity. Web view. That's fine. Now we're going to give it a value, which is actually going to be web view activity. It's fine. We'll go back to our manifest. Let's go. Now we need the parent activity name. Let's quickly do that. Android parent activity name, which is the list activity. That's the parent. Closing activity. Inside here, I will give a metadata. It's data. We have the Android name, and it's actually going to be Android support parent activity. Just this way. Now we're going to add the value, Android value, which is the list activity. I'll close it appropriately. Let's close it well. That's set right. We also need for the second activity, so I'll just copy these instead of typing, since they have similar details. Now we'll change this to the simple custom tab activity, but we actually call this as well simple custom tab activity. And the string, we need to create the string for this as well, which is called the title activity simple Chrome tab. simple Chrome tab. We have it set before, so just call it. You can see how simple it can be if you've set all your string names right in the string XML. You just call them and they are used. So a change in the string XML will affect anywhere some of the names have been referenced. So that's just what it is. The parent activity name is list activity, and the parent activity for the metadata, and the Android value as well is list activity. We have our application set ready. Let me just build this up to be very sure that there's no error whatsoever in anywhere. From here, we're going to actually launch to an emulator and set box, and we'll wrap it up and call it a day from there. Here we go with the application that's built successfully. We have the Chrome custom tab. It's a simple implementation of the Chrome custom tabs without any customization, warm up or prefetch. This is actually the next activity. We can have all that demo right there in this particular recycler view. So we're going to click on this to take us down to the simple custom tab activity, whereby we have the URL. We have a default URL set, and we can open the custom tab with this button. So you can actually wrap the URL inside a button anyway, but this just make you tweak. You can decide to put any other URL link just to open the custom tab. So it depends on how you modify or the need of the custom tab in your particular application. So there's different way you can actually integrate it. So a click on this we actually call the Chrome, and it's actually going to display this particular website link right inside the web view. So we have the web view, and it's actually this. You can see that the website is coming up, and you have the website set, whereby you have it. Can you see that the time of loading is so fast? It's actually fast, and it's not lagging in any form. You can see JavaScript is enabled, and you have the ability to go back to the application. Look at it over there, not using the back button, which is for the device. This is actually inside the application. And let's get to look at some other things right there they are about, and so that you know that it's actually working perfectly. Who we are, the skills, the theme, and that's fine. Let's get to look at the services. That's cool. We have the mobile development, database architecture. We have website design development. We have corporate education, photo and video editing, business intelligence, right? Our development process. You can actually get that from the major website, and it's looking cool, and it's actually appealing. See this? It's the full structure of the website. So you can see you navigating in a website, and there's no itches, there's no lag in any way. It's actually look as if you're still in your application, not knowing you actually launched the Chrome, and you're right in the web view. Let's get to look at the pricing. Okay, for basic website, 1 to 10 pages, style of design simple, responsive. For custom websites, 10 to 50 pages, style of design moderately styled, SEO, 30 keywords, responsive design, and CMS. Advanced, $3,005. This is actually one-off, not monthly anyway. It's a one-off payment. It's a one-off payment. We have number of pages 50 to 150, style, high-end, copywriting, responsive, database integration, e-commerce functionality, We have seen it. That's fine. Let's get to look at the contact. We have a contact right there, and leave you. That's where we're situated. Lagos, and you have the map. That's cool. So this is just how to integrate the custom tabs into your Android application, and it's handy and very useful. So I will implore you to lay your hands on these and just get yourself acclimatized. If you have any comment whatsoever, just drop it down in the comment section of this particular video. I'll be glad and ready to assist you in achieving this highly esteemed integration. Thank you very much once more for hanging out with me throughout this particular tutorial. Let's go back, and I will implore you, please always stay by to Delaware Studios, subscribe to my channel, and don't go anywhere. Bye bye for now. Have a blessed time. Bye bye.